What's up, guys? So, it's Andrew, and in this video, I want to talk about the alert and why it is unnecessary, why it's flawed, and how it's harming the dog. And when I talk about the alert, I'm talking about what y'all do, which is actually a show of force. Y'all get the dog to amp up, go crazy, act retarded at the end of the leash. That is a show of force. That is to dominate a situation if it's done right, which y'all don't do right because y'all don't even call it show of force. Y'all call it alert, which it's not. And if it was an alert, then what is it alerting? It's not alerting the handler that the threat is there, because the handler obviously knows, because it told the dog to go batshit crazy. It is not alerting the subject. Why would it alert the subject? It would be warning the subject as far as to stay away, but it's not alerting, and it's not even warning, because if it was warning, then it's ineffective because it always ends in a bite. The show of force is to keep the bite from happening. So, the alert, if done correctly, is a command that tells your dog to keep its head on a swivel in certain environments, during certain situations, at certain times. That's what it is. For me, my alert command is given once a day, and it's at the point where I don't even have to give it. The dogs know as soon as I walk out my door and open up my vehicle door and I tell them to get in. From that point on until we get back home at night, that they are on alert, that their head is on a swivel. I don't have to tell them each situation that I go into the alert to let me know of threats. They should not. That's why it's called alert. They don't have to be told. They know automatically. They can pick up on threats long before you can. They can alert you to the threats. So, with that said, let's address this show of force, or what y'all call as alert, and let's break it down of why and how it is disservice to the dog. See how the dog goes in for the bite, and the dog didn't get it? Now watch the dog. Instead of going back for the bite, it goes to the other side. It cowers. And then finally it comes back when the guy steps forward. And doing this is telling the dog that what you're doing is useless. It's not effective. And the dog gets in his mind that, hey, it's not effective. It's useless. That in order to get this guy bit, I have to wait until he gets closer. I have to make him feel safe enough to get closer, instead of acting stupid at the end of the leash for no reason. See, the dog, and then he kicks at the dog, and the dog goes for the legs, it goes for the hands, it goes for whatever it can, but it can't bite. So in the end, you're destroying the dog's reality of what a threat is, and it's targeting. You messing up its targeting system, because you're telling the dog to go for whatever it can. You're not getting it to go for a specific area. You're not getting the dog to go for the weapon side, or the threat, in this case how the legs goes. But even if the dog goes for the legs, you want it to transfer the bite. You want it to always go for the wrist on the strong arm, the dominant side, where the weapon would be. But see how the dog backs up? The dog's like, fuck this, I'm done, I'm not getting anything out of it. So the dog dies down. This is stupid. There's no reason that it should be done. If you tell the dog to alert and the threat is that violent towards it, then let the dog bite. Give it the bite command, because usually that's how it goes. You get the dog on alert, and it's supposed to deterrent, warn off the subject. And if that doesn't work, which obviously it hasn't, you get the dog to bite. But the fact that they were waiting to give the dog a bite, as you can see, pisses the dog off, and the dog's like, hell, I'm not even going to do any of this. You want to give me the bite? Then give me the bite. If not, then what the hell am I here for? And it's clear as day. You can see it in everything the dog is doing. Right there. If it wasn't for the legs kicking and the dog thinking that the legs are going to be a little bit closer, that he would be able to grab the legs, he wouldn't have gone for him at all. He would have stayed back. Prove me wrong. If he wouldn't have kicked at all, redo this video and don't have him kick at all and see what the dog does. It's going to stay back. A show of force, which this is being done wrong. And it's not done when you have an active aggressive threat. You do a show of force to deter the threat from becoming more hostile, and it allows you to know too, if you got multiple targets, to know which one's the most aggressive threat in the crowd, because the one that's most aggressive will do what you see doing. They will keep provoking the dog, looking for the dog to bite it. It will keep making advancements. It will keep making threatening attempts to dominate the situation, as you can see. But this is doing it wrong. At this point, it's no longer an alert, because the dog knows that in a real situation that it's going to bite the subject. The subject knows that it's going to get bit. The handler's going to get bit. So what's the point of keeping the so-called alert, which is a show of force actually, going? Release that tension on that leash and let the subject get hounded. Any questions, comments, or concerns, as always, drop in below. Until next time, guys.